Hello everyone, my name is Adam Harris and welcome to IC Markets Market Commentary. So first thing I want to do is, as we head in towards Christmas, most of the big institutions will be taking time off, leaving just people in the front office. And so actually a lot of liquidity is going to dry up from the markets. However, and it's not really that worthwhile for retail traders such as ourselves to really engage in the markets. It's a really good time to take a bit of a breather, revisit the trading journal, check out strategies, backtest, read books for inspiration, and basically make a plan to get going in the first week of January. So just having a look at what the current state of the markets are, and they're likely to start to potentially go a little bit sideways over the coming weeks. But let's just have a look and see what's happening here. I'm quite liking this euro dollar rejection. This is a double top, and there could potentially be a move down towards 1.08, down towards these lower lows over here, potentially down towards this previous high. Beg your pardon. Now, sterling as well, within this uptrend, a little bit of bearish divergence there, so we could see a deeper retracement. That's what it really potentially means. Might see it come into these highs and potentially take another run, and it's not really going to take that long before we're on the other side of 2023. It's only going to be, on the daily, it's only going to really be about another 10 candles, because of course we've got all these holidays that happen as well during the week. And so for now, my immediate expectation is to see a bit of a stronger dollar, potentially see the majors head a little bit lower. If we have a look at gold, gold has obviously recently broken through to all-time highs, had a very strong rejection, come back down, and also produced a very strong bullish engulfing bar here within a series of high lows. So what does that actually mean? It means that there are plenty of buyers for gold now. There's plenty of sellers up here and plenty of buyers here. So it's potentially going to stress test this 2000 area, and I say that because it is actually this entire area where, if we look at it from a higher perspective, from a higher time frame perspective, we can see that it's been testing those for several years, and therefore this is an area where it's ultimately going to be a little bit more volatile until it can ultimately break free of that. So in principle, looking nice and bullish on gold, but expecting it around these key levels to encounter some sellers and push back a little bit. Then if we have a look here at US oil, so this is really interesting. This is now relatively bullish, a lot more bullish green candles here, some slightly higher moving on the momentum indicators, looking a little bit more divergent here, meaning, and we had a slightly lower low here, meaning that it is starting to slow down, it's starting to break these highs, it's going to start to work its way up towards $80. So it's attempting to reverse from a weekly, it's a weekly downtrend, but it's attempting to change that. It's now no longer has a daily downtrend. I'm looking for a higher low. So possibly one of the ways in which price could do this, hit a little bit higher, come back down, test this area for support, and then continue up. So that is interesting, because out of all the charts we've looked at so far, that has some potential change to its nature. Now, if we look at the global indices, last couple of weeks, and in fact a month, it has been incredibly bullish. So it's hardly connected with these moving averages. Just very small pullbacks, little consolidation, breakout, so on and so forth. Very, very bullish, but we are now getting to a point where we do need to have a retracement. We need to see a pullback into these older highs, and it would be perfect. It would be very convenient for us if it was able to do a pullback of this sort while we're on holiday, and then resume its uptrend when we start to get back into work. But that is certainly something I'll be stalking on my own, is looking for a deeper correction, a weekly retracement, if you will, and looking for price to do that. But overall, the market's looking very nice and bullish, not showing too much exhaustion here, but certainly slowing down a little bit. Then if we go to the S&P 500 as well, you can see it's starting to encounter a bit of resistance here. Any kind of a nice pullback into that 4,600, it would be very nice for it to do that. US tech as well, beautiful break and a retest and a continuation back up to these old highs. So we're in areas now, it's a little bit overextended, and it is due for a bit of a correction. And again, it would be nice for it to have a slightly bigger correction, in other words, back down to previous lows or back into the previous highs, in order to fully charge its batteries for the next leg up. The FTSE here as well, in a range, pushing its way up to the top of the range, looking relatively nice and bullish. It'll be significant, I think, if it breaks out of that range. We've then got the DAX, also had a very good run. Look at it on a daily. Incredibly good, and finally a bit overextended. Would love to see this, in fact, potentially pull back a little bit further, either down towards that 50-period moving average, or a little bit further than that before resuming the trend to the upside. So my point here is, in principle, the markets are bullish. Don't necessarily expect anything more than just a bit of a normal correction, and then expecting them to most likely continue to be bullish over the coming weeks. So here again, we've got a really strong move from the ASX out of Australia. Now, if we have a look at a couple of individual stocks, Tesla here, for example, if we look at it from a daily perspective, previously there was an inverse head and shoulder. So you can see that it's no doubt almost completed that head and shoulders pattern. Looks really good. That was a beautiful little trade idea. And here on the daily and weekly, it's looking more and more bullish. If we go to the weekly, for example, we can see that it's potentially going to approach this downward sloping trend line and then breach that. Nvidia Also here wanting to continue to the upside. It's had a very nice consolidation as opposed to a correction. I was looking for a correction down here. Instead, it's taken a bit of a breather. It's pulled back, produced a bullish candle, and is now approaching this upward level. So it's still range bound, and it still has to get through this. Similar to gold, it has a bit of a battle ahead of it, but it is certainly intent on testing those upper levels. Amazon, very, very nice. We've broken through this level of resistance, pulled back, and are sort of very close to the moving averages, almost as though it is preparing to do another leg up from where it is right now. Looks relatively healthy there. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin, for example. Here we have a lower high, but this level of support is currently still holding. So could we get a break lower? In other words, would we get a weekly retracement, which would bring us back down towards the 35, 36,000 mark? That is a possibility. The daily is obviously quite bullish, and it may hold at this level of support, but I would see any kind of a pullback, or I beg your pardon, a break through this level of support would be more of a weekly retracement. That's all. Overall, also, again, it looking relatively bullish, but it would be lovely for it to do a nice, natural, healthy retracement back down towards the moving averages here over this period. So that might be something that ends up ultimately happening. And let's just see if there's anything else. No, for now, I'm relatively happy with that. I'm expecting a little bit of mixed markets over the next few days, but everything does appear to be moving in a nice, healthy way. The markets seem to be calm and happy, and there are moves in play, and the bulls also very bullish on the global indices. I'm going to leave you with that. Please have a fantastic holiday. Don't forget to plan your trades and trade your plans. Thank you very much.